Hey everyone, this is Jonathan from Chegg Tutors, and this video is about carboxyl groups, which are the main functional group of carboxylic acids. And so here's their structure right here, and it consists of a carbon double bonded to one oxygen here, and then this carbon is also bonded to a hydroxyl group, an OH group. Now these functional groups act as acids because they have an acidic proton here. Now this R group here is just any other part of the molecule, an alkyl group for example, anything. Now let's look at the electronegativities of the atoms involved in a carboxyl group and see if it can give us any hints as to why carboxyl groups act certain ways, such as why they're weakly acidic. So let's look at the structure. And an acidic hydrogen atom is a hydrogen atom that has a large partial positive charge. And this is because it's usually attracted to bases which have a partial negative charge or a full-on negative charge. And the bases are attracted to this and pull off that acidic hydrogen. So let's look at the electronegativities of these atoms. Hydrogen is not very electronegative. Oxygen is very electronegative, which means that when oxygen is in a bond, it likes to hog the electrons. It likes to pull the electrons towards itself and away from the other atoms. So let's look where the electron density is going to go. It's going to be pulled towards oxygen here, away from hydrogen, and up through here. So it's really getting pulled all the way up, which is really pulling away from hydrogen. So hydrogen is left with barely any electron density. It's a very electron poor environment, which means that it has a large partial positive charge on it. And this partial positive charge is going to cause that hydrogen to be attracted to bases, which then easily pull it off. And that's why carboxyl groups act as weak acids. So now let's look at some of the physical properties of carboxyl groups. What about its boiling point? Well, whenever hydrogen is attached to an oxygen in a bond, it has the ability to experience hydrogen bonds between those atoms, because hydrogen, like we said, is going to be in an electron poor environment, so it's going to have a partial positive charge, and oxygen over here is going to have a partial negative charge. This oxygen here is going to attract the partial positive hydrogens in other molecules of this carboxylic acid, while the hydrogen here is going to be attracted to the partial negative charge of the oxygens in other carboxylic acid molecules. So they're going to form hydrogen bonds between each other. So this is going to cause the boiling point to be relatively high because those attractions are pretty strong within hydrogen bonds. So we can say relatively high. Acidity, like we said before, this partial positive hydrogen atom causes it to be weakly acidic. So it is a weak acid, and we'll see also why, another reason why it's an acidic molecule. And solubility, well, the molecule is left with partial charges on certain atoms. So we have partial negative on the oxygen, partial positive on the hydrogen, and these partial charges make it insoluble in nonpolar molecules, because there's certainly a pole here. There's poles of two partial charges. So this makes it soluble in polar molecules, such as water. So solubility, soluble in polar molecules. So I mentioned before that there's another reason why they like to act as acids, and this is due to resonance of the conjugate base. So let's say we have carboxylic acid and it loses the proton. Remember, these are weak acids, so they can easily gain the proton back and go in the reverse direction. So it's left with a negative charge. Now this charge can move here, and this bond moves up to this oxygen, and we can experience resonance, where the electron density is kind of shared within the molecule and it makes it more stable. So here, the conjugate base of a carboxylic acid is relatively stable due to these resonance structures, where the electron density is shared within this functional group. So we can see that it's pretty prone to lose the proton, because after you lose it, you experience resonance. However, it's not a completely strong acid. It still goes in the reverse direction, but it's one of the reasons why it likes to lose that proton. So I'm sure you heard that carboxylic acids play a huge role in biology. They have a great biological significance. They're found in fatty acids, which make up lipids, and they also help make up the phospholipids found in our cell membranes. And they also are a part of amino acids, which help make up proteins. They're part of their carboxy terminal of each amino acid. And so you can see that carboxylic acids, they're found in a lot of places, and they play huge roles within our bodies and help maintain life. So I hope this helped and showed you how important carboxyl groups are. My name's Jonathan, and I'm on Chegg Tutors.